The Roman Senate. It's a name that echoes through history, synonymous with power, strategy, and the very essence of Roman governance. For centuries, this esteemed body stood as a cornerstone of Roman society, shaping the destiny of an empire that stretched from the misty hills of Scotland to the sun-drenched sands of North Africa. To truly understand the Roman Senate, we must journey back to its very roots, to the time of Romulus and Remus, to the legendary founding of Rome itself. It is here, amidst the myths and legends, that we find the seeds of this influential institution. The Senate was not merely a group of old men huddled in a room. It was a living embodiment of Roman tradition, a repository of knowledge and experience passed down through generations of patrician families. The decisions made within the Senate's hallowed halls reverberated throughout the empire, affecting the lives of millions. From its humble beginnings as an advisory council, the Senate would rise to become a dominant force in Roman politics, wielding immense influence over matters of war and peace, law and religion. Its story is one of ambition, intrigue, and ultimately the rise and fall of one of history's most enduring political institutions. In the nascent days of Rome, when kings still ruled and the city was but a shadow of its future self, the Senate emerged as a vital, albeit understated, force. This was a time when the foundations of what would become one of the greatest empires in history were being laid, brick by brick, decision by decision. Comprised of 100 elder statesmen, the so-called or fathers, the Senate served as a council of advisers to the reigning monarch. These men were not just any citizens, they were the pillars of Roman society, chosen for their wisdom, experience, and the respect they commanded among the people. These men, drawn from Rome's most ancient and influential families, brought with them a wealth of experience and wisdom. Their backgrounds were diverse, yet they shared a common goal: the prosperity and stability of Rome. They were the keepers of tradition, the guardians of Roman custom, and their counsel was highly valued, even if not always heeded. Their role was not just advisory, it was also symbolic, representing the continuity and endurance of Roman values and traditions. Imagine, if you will, the scene: a young and ambitious king, eager to prove himself, convenes a meeting of the Senate. The room is filled with a palpable tension, a mix of respect and anticipation as the king prepares to speak. He seeks their guidance on a matter of great import, perhaps a looming conflict with a neighboring tribe or a proposed change to the city's laws. The stakes are high, and the king knows that the advice he receives could shape the future of his reign and the destiny of Rome. The senators, their faces etched with the wisdom of ages, listen intently as the king speaks. Each word is weighed carefully, each proposal scrutinized with the collective experience of centuries. They weigh his words carefully, considering not only the immediate consequences, but also the long-term implications for Rome's future. Their deliberations are thorough, their debates intense, as they strive to provide the best possible counsel. Their advice, offered with a blend of respect and authority, could make or break a king's reign. The king, in turn, must balance his own ambitions with the wisdom of his advisers, knowing that their support is crucial for his success. It was in these early years, under the watchful eyes of the kings, that the Senate honed its skills of diplomacy, strategy, and political maneuvering. These were the formative years, where the Senate learned to navigate the complex web of power and influence that would define Roman politics for centuries. Little did they know that the stage was being set for a far greater role in the centuries to come. The Senate's influence would grow, and their decisions would shape the course of history, leaving an indelible mark on the legacy of Rome. The year is 509 BC. A momentous shift is about to occur, one that will forever alter the course of Roman history. The city of Rome, with its rich traditions and complex social structures, stands on the brink of a revolutionary transformation. The last Roman king, the tyrannical Tarquin the Proud, is overthrown, and with him the very notion of monarchy in Rome. This dramatic upheaval is fueled by the people's desire for a more just and equitable system of governance. A new era dawns, the era of the Roman Republic. This new republic promises a fresh start, a break from the oppressive rule of kings, and the beginning of a system where power is more evenly distributed among Rome's citizens. And at its heart, no longer merely whispering in a king's ear, stands the Senate, a body of wise and experienced men who are now tasked with guiding the Republic through its infancy. Now poised to become a dominant force in this bold new political landscape, the Senate is ready to take on responsibilities that were once the sole domain of the monarch. No longer content with merely advising, the Senate seizes the reins of power. They are determined to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated and that the Republic thrives. They assume responsibility for crafting legislation, overseeing finances, and directing foreign policy. These tasks are crucial for the stability and growth of the young Republic. The senators elected from amongst Rome's elite become the architects of this fledgling republic, their decisions shaping the very fabric of Roman society. Their influence extends far beyond the walls of the Senate, affecting every aspect of daily life. Their decisions shaping the very fabric of Roman society. From the laws that govern the people to the policies that dictate Rome's interactions with neighboring states, the Senate's reach is vast and profound. The transition is not without its challenges. Establishing a republic in place of a monarchy is a complex and often tumultuous process. Internal power struggles erupt as different factions within the Senate vie for control. These conflicts threaten to destabilize the nascent republic, but they also serve to strengthen the resolve of those committed to its success. The plebeians, Rome's common citizens, agitate for greater rights and representation. Their demands lead to significant social reforms, ensuring that the Republic is not just a government of the elite, but one that serves all its people. Yet through it all, the Senate remains a constant, a symbol of stability and continuity in a world of constant change. It stands as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of Roman political institutions. It is during these turbulent years of the early Republic that the Senate truly comes into its own, navigating the challenges and forging a path forward for Rome, forging an identity as a powerful and enduring institution. The Senate's legacy is one of perseverance, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to the ideals of the Republic. The Roman Republic, for all its ideals of shared power and civic virtue, was not immune to the winds of change, nor the storms of discontent. As the centuries passed, the very foundations of the Senate's authority began to tremble under the weight of social unrest and ambitious reformers. The Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius, emerged as champions of the plebeians, their calls for land redistribution and economic reform shaking the established order. Their efforts, though ultimately unsuccessful, exposed the growing rift between the wealthy, land-owning elite and the impoverished masses. The Senate, once seen as a bastion of stability, found itself caught in the crossfire. Its authority, built over centuries, was challenged by those who sought a more equitable distribution of power and resources. The social war, a bloody conflict sparked by Rome's Italian allies demanding full citizenship, further weakened the Senate's grip on power. The Senate, slow to adapt to the changing demands of its expanding empire, found itself increasingly out of touch with the needs of its people. As the Roman Republic teetered on the brink of collapse, a new figure emerged from the chaos: Julius Caesar. His rise was not just a personal triumph, but a pivotal moment in the annals of Roman history. A brilliant military strategist and charismatic leader, Caesar's rise to prominence marked a turning point in Roman history, one with profound implications for the Senate. His military campaigns were not just about expanding Rome's territories, but also about consolidating his own power. Caesar's victories in Gaul, his daring crossing of the Rubicon, and his eventual defeat of Pompey the Great in a bloody civil war propelled him to the forefront of Roman politics. These events were not mere battles. They were seismic shifts that altered the course of Roman governance. He became dictator for life, effectively ending the Republic in all but name. This move was both bold and controversial, signaling the end of an era and the beginning of another. The Senate, accustomed to wielding power from the shadows, found itself confronted with a force unlike any it had encountered before. The traditional balance of power was upended, leaving many senators in a state of uncertainty and fear. Caesar's ambition knew no bounds, and he was not afraid to challenge the Senate's authority. His reforms and policies were designed to centralize power, often at the expense of the Senate's influence. He increased the Senate's size, packing it with his own supporters and diluting the influence of the old patrician families. This strategic move ensured that his decrees would face little opposition. He bypassed the Senate on key decisions, further eroding its power and prestige. By doing so, he effectively rendered the Senate a ceremonial body, stripping it of its former glory. Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, a desperate act by senators seeking to preserve the Republic, only served to hasten its demise. The die was cast. The conspirators believed they were saving Rome, but in reality, they were sealing its fate. Rome was on an inexorable path towards empire, and the Senate, once the architect of its destiny, would have to adapt to a new role in this changing world. The transition from republic to empire was not just a change in governance, but a transformation in the very identity of Rome itself.